Facebook here. Let's give us a sec. There it is.
It looks like I've got Facebook connected. And it hasn't exactly gone through to my YouTube yet.
So how's everybody doing today? How's everybody's beautiful day going? Today was an amazing day in Jersey. It was so nice and warm. We've been dealing with rain for like
90
4
degrees
days.
here in New Mexico.
I didn't feel too warm. 90's warm.
Beautiful day in Florida. Jeremy can agree with that, I bet.
Yeah, Gina, this was only, there's 5 of us tonight, Gina. We lost a comrade tonight.
We lost 2, gained 1.
Yes. All right, good observation. Yes.
Hey everyone. I think I'm good on my YouTube channel and on my Facebook. Can anyone from my channels, Facebook and YouTube, just please put a message in the chat so I know we're good? Mike, nice. Hi from Sudbury, Ontario. Is it cold there? I think it's cold.
We're talking about 90-degree weather over here and nice 70 here. Oh.
I know. It's going to be 90 here in Colorado on Thursday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Colorado.
Facebook is still. Jason, your Facebook's still showing on Masters Active. It's not showing our faces yet. It's still showing countdown.
No, I didn't hit it live yet, so we're gonna do that right now.
Okay.
Right?
Hi, Dina. All right, so we're going to be doing a lot of talk about dreams. And wow, I think we've all been getting a lot of stuff about dreams. So many of you guys have been writing into me about the dreams that you've been experiencing, especially over the last week or two. And I know Jason's a dream expert.
Yes, I am. I have a course called The Soul's Dream. So yeah, I'm very excited. So everybody, welcome. The Messengers of Hope on another Tuesday night special, presented by the Masters Octave, the mastersoctave.org, a nice, beautiful nonprofit organization to help you reach your greatest spiritual potential. You can find out more on the mastersoctave.org and all the beautiful things that we're doing and different nights that we have going on. But tonight's going to be an awesome show because we're going to be talking about dreams, and everybody's dreams lately are just going through the roof. So vivid, so it's like we're all having astral travel in our dreams these days. They're so incredibly vivid. It's amazing, so awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually, I want to show one of my slides, but we can talk about that later on if anyone wants to just hop in and maybe give a little introduction, right? So for those who don't know, we have a newcomer here tonight, Garen Zena.
Oh.
And, hello, Garen.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Thank you for even knowing me. It's been a wonderful time. I've met these wonderful people, all on the Waves of Light cruise back in 2019 or 18. I think that was 18. And it was 19. And we've stayed in touch, and it's been wonderful collaboration with all these people, and so it's an exciting night.
Yeah.
And we just had you a speaker at the Waves of Light conference this year now that just happened now in January. So
Jeremy, just mute your mic when you're moving around.
But yeah, Garen's a tremendous speaker. He's a beautiful channel. We're super excited, especially because we're talking about dreams, to have him on here tonight, because we don't have Karen with us this evening, or Jamie, our normal crew. But it's a beautiful honor to have you here, Garen, with us. And for the rest of you out there watching, tune in to Garen. He's got his YouTube channel as well, and he loves getting into dreams. So let's talk about dreams, because just like you're saying, it's been out there. They are popping up. They are topic of discussion, and they are real.
And yeah.
No, this girl does not sing. No.
Oh yeah.
You know, let's talk about dreams and ice. There's a comment in the chat on the webinar jam as well. And those of you who might want to join us on webinar jam, Jeremy, it's been on our websites or Facebooks as well. But Kimberly's actually putting a comment out there saying, I'm not having any dreams. Weird. So I want to keep that in mind as we go through this, because a lot of us are having dreams and they're really real and vivid dreams and positive and negative. Some people are having really negative dreams. Some people are having really positive dreams. And some of you aren't dreaming at all, but please still tune into this because there's messages for everyone. Even dreams that we have are sometimes for others as well. So let's get into this.
Yeah, I've got a comment from Mike. He said he's ready to learn and he's had some horrible dreams. Any take on this? And that has been the basic consistency of what I'm hearing from a lot of you guys out there, is that your dreams are quite disturbing. I've had people recount their dreams to me who are literally in what feels like pornographic films with children, that you're trying to save the children, but you're going in undercover to make it look like you're part of the film. You're going through tunnels. You're watching humans eat other humans. It's really dark and like really, really dark stuff that you have no idea why you're dreaming of this, because it's so out of the ordinary. And this is becoming really common. And I talked about this in my dreams download video last week, where I received the information that you guys are actually literally doing saving humanity work through the dream state in other timelines, in other parallel realities, and that it's also seeding the consciousness for healing. It's prep work. Like, there's so much happening right now. And the fact that so many of you guys are having these dreams just tells me that we are literally in the thick of what I believe is a massive operation of basically to end human trafficking. And of course, a lot of that is unknown to us because not much of it's being reported. You have to really search for that information. But to me, like what I'm picking up and what I'm seeing is that a lot of you guys are already in the thick of it, doing the work, doing the healing, and it's transforming itself in the dream state. What have you guys gotten on that?
Yeah, well, the dream state is part of the astral realm. I mean, we gotta understand there's multiple realms in our reality. We experience the physical reality, but there's multiple realms, and a lot of our dreams happen in the astral realms. And the astral realms really, we manifest in the astral realms, and a lot of that energy projects into the physical realm. So it's interesting that a lot of people are having these dreams of saving the children, and that's what's happening right now. So it's like our higher selves and our astral bodies are manifesting this reality and projecting it into this world, so that it's assisting with this thing that is happening right now. I think it's an amazing time what's taking place. Some people are awake to it and some people aren't, and some people are having dreams about it because they're connecting it with their astral bodies, their dream state. I think it's an amazing time that we're in right now. So real quick, I just want to share something really, really quick with you guys, just to give everybody context of what dreams are. And so if you look at this is interesting, because if you're 30 years old, right, you have slept 10 years of your life, because we sleep 1/3 of our lives away, right? So at the age of 60, you have slept 20 years. And at the age 90, 30 years. So think about that. We sleep 1/3 of our lives. Something is going on inside of our dream state. It's not just you're going to sleep just to recharge your body. That's a portion of what's happening. You're actually going through your dream state to manifest and create your days. So what's interesting is what I have here to the left. You see this 90-degree angle? When you look at quantum physics and you look at dimensions, when you change at a 90-degree angle within music and within dimensions, that's when you shift into another reality. That's when you shift into another octave. So when do we move from a 90-degree angle? We walk all day long vertically, and then we go to sleep. We go to a horizontal, which is a 90-degree angle from our vertical positioning, shifting into another state of consciousness, a vertical to a horizontal state of consciousness at 90 degrees. And we move into this state called sleep. But what it is we are really moving into another dimension space-time, that it's a little bit different from our physical realm. And depending how far you go up into the dimensions or the realms, it gets your body gets more and more of light, less substance. And the closer you get to physicality, the more physical you become and more substance. When you have a dream where feels like it's really physical, you're right in the lower astral plane. You're right in the very next dimension. So you're able to retain that information. Someone who goes into a very high realm or into a higher dimension, the information is so vast. There's so much information that you can't bottle that information up and bring it down into the physical. And this is why a lot of people are saying, oh, I don't remember my dreams. It's not because you're not dreaming. It's just that you're going into a very high realm, a very high dimensional space-time where you're experiencing so much data, so much information that you can't bottleneck it back down here. When you have a dream where you're understanding it and you know what's going on, you're very close to the physical plane and the astral plane. So our dreams are extremely powerful. They're very, very, very powerful in manifesting into our daily physical lives. There's a lot to our dreams. I just want to show you guys that give context, that showing that we are multidimensional beings. It's not just about the physical reality. If something happens physically here, it's also happening on this realm, and it's happening in this realm, and it's happening in this realm, all the way up, because we're all connected all the way through all these realms and dimensions of space-time.
Garen, have
Oh no, sorry. I was just answering her. I've had dreams about the children. So I woke up one night and I saw some things I didn't really want to see projected into my mind, such as just we could just say bloody things. And I heard little kids crying, like multidimensionally. I was just like, damn, that's really messed up. And I started connecting the dots the next day, hearing about the amount of people that were being rescued from human trafficking. I was thinking, oh, maybe it's that. And then on the subject of dreams, the night before last night, I almost never have nightmares. I had one the other night. It wasn't really a nightmare, but it was about it. It was like clearing the karma. It was as if I became different people from the Third Reich and felt how much regret and self-hatred they had, to give them, like, to bring them to the place of self-forgiveness. And it was really weird. Like I've been dreaming about the past a lot. Like I'm going back into the past, like maybe past life regressions or stuff like that. But it's been really weird, to say the least.
Yeah.
Jeremy, you're
Jeremy,
muted.
you're off.
The Maharishi effect.
And that's huge because yeah, and I think that's what's big right now is that we're all collectively going through this. This is like
Yeah.
the darkest shadow that of humanity, and it's hidden and it's coming to the surface right now, which means it makes sense that it's surfacing first in our dreams, more so than what we can actually see in our physical reality. And I think also part of it's happening so that we become aware that it's actually happening, because some of us, we don't know for sure if it's happening. We have some people that are saying, no, it's happening, but we don't have any like hard concrete evidence, right? Something like that we can tangibly see or look at on the screen or a paper. And so I think some of these dreams are happening for us to collectively know the operations are underway, and we're all part of it. We're all part of it.
I think that I was just going to say, I think it's important to remember that your dreams are real. We call them dreams, and we've kind of said like dreams are not real, right? But there's a reality to our dreams. Even the scary dreams when we're little kids and we used to have like scary monsters or something, we have to acknowledge that there's something real behind them, whatever that energy be. Because a lot of times when we're kids, sometimes it might have been that we were hearing our parents fight and we didn't realize that's what took us into that area. And like you're saying, we're doing that healing work in that realm, but we're fighting the monsters, or we're afraid of the monsters, but we're not sure why. So whether we've been seeing things on the news or whether we've been feeling it, and how we're saying we're going into this dream world, in this theta state, into our subconscious higher self to do the work, we need to acknowledge that first. Once we can acknowledge that our dreams are real and there is some kind of real message or some reason it's happening, and even not dreaming is real, just like Jason was saying earlier of why we don't dream, because we can't funnel all that down with us, then we need to acknowledge that this is all real. Once we can acknowledge it's real, then we can start to decipher the message. We can start to understand it, and we can start to accept it, and we can start to not be afraid of it, especially when we're having like heavy, difficult, negative dreams, such as dreaming things of children that are having things happen to them and these scary kinds of dreams. Then we can at least start to acknowledge, okay, that was real for some reason in my life. Not sure why, but I'm going to acknowledge that that was real. It happened. And there's a reason I remember it. I'm going to acknowledge now that there's lessons in it, and I'm going to acknowledge that my higher self, especially because everyone out here is light workers, my higher self was doing a work it was supposed to do to heal that energy, or to transform that energy, right? As the light worker I could, in the realm I can, just like Jason said. Then we can also say, because of that, I can release this negativity. And I ask that these negative emotions, because when we come back with dreams like that, it sticks. The emotions stick right here with us, and we're like, why did that happen? And then it keeps coming back in our head. When we have the beautiful dreams, being in love with somebody, and we're already getting a dream of visioning our lives in the front and everything, it sticks with us as well. And we don't mind when that sticks with us, and we'll hold that energy and we'll walk around it all day happy and excited. But when we have that negative, scary dream, remember that that's there. So we need to do what we need to do to transform and transmute that energy, so we can come from a place of love. And anytime you feel something like that coming in negative, that scary dream, especially something so hurtful like seeing children be hurt, that is hard. That is very hard to see or to feel. And so then whenever it comes in and it starts to irritate you and it's there, when I have something like that, I say, okay, angels, guardians, guides, light, energy, whatever it is that you use, your words, your soul language, say, go and please be there with them. Because obviously, if, like we said, we're connected to this conscious, we're all connected in this consciousness of the world. As we are all ascending, as we are all rising, and we are all awakening, we are becoming more aware of these things going on. I have people that are calling me and saying like, hey, I was thinking about you today, or I'm doing the same things. People are coming into my energy field, and I know whose soul it is, or I know what's going on. So we need to acknowledge that, so that we can go with it and we can do the work. But we ask, if you don't know what's going on, just say, angels, be there. Guardians, guides, be there. Light energy, be there.
Yeah.
And then that helps do the transformation, so you're not holding on to the energy so much.
And speaking of angels and guardians and guides, Hector had a good question. And what about dreams that involve people who have passed away? Nothing weird, just realistic. So people that pass away, what I want you to understand is that who we are is an eternal being. So when we leave the physical plane, we move into another plane of existence, a different vibrational frequency. Just like tuning to your TV, tune to a specific channel, you get a picture, you get a reality, right? You get a show, a program. Well, when we transition, we move into a different plane of existence. And recently, every Monday and Wednesday, I've been doing a show with Joseph Labruto, who is a medium psychic. And what he does is he taps into the person, and then through that person, you get the vibrational frequency of their loved ones. So what's happening is our loved ones are always around us, but they're just in a different plane of existence. So when you go to sleep, you are actually moving into those planes of existence. So those realms, the astral realm and the three astral realms, and then the realms above that, this is where we go when we transition. So when you meet your loved ones in a dream, it's 100% them. It's them in their etheric or their spiritual body, just like you in that moment in time are in your etheric or energetic body. So yeah, when you see people in your dreams, angels, guardians, guides, loved ones, they are 100% there. But it's just not a physical experience. But we're so used to the physical being the only thing that's real. But there's so much more to reality that we're just starting to learn about now.
Can I say something about positive dreams? Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the same thing. I was just going to say, like, yeah, with Joseph and I being mediums, we work in that way, but we do it while we're still awake and present. We drop into that state right now as it is. But I was going to exactly transfer into that positive dream. So go with it, Garen.
So people understand that at first when they start entering the spiritual path, a lot of what they hear is everything's love and light, blah blah blah. It gets dark at some point. Dark night of the soul, all that different stuff. Shadow integration. It's difficult, and that's why people revert and go back. And positive dreams, like it was the other night. So I dreamt of it was as if it was probably 100 years from now, and everybody was flying. Everybody had some crazy technology that we don't have right now, and it was like sound technology where every building was made out of organic structure, and it was all extended from our body, and it was as if we fully integrated and realized the idea of conscious living, and the society in which we lived fully adapted to that modality. And so with the negative dreams, it's with the more you know what you don't want, the more you know what you do want. So in having those negative dreams, it's creating more of an attraction for the positive possibility in real life. And yeah, Jessica.
No, I love the way you stated it, because that gives us the opportunity to transform and transmute that so we don't continue the cycles. Because when we really concentrate on the fear dreams, and if we can also do the opposite where we just start to call in that cycle and we call in more of that negativity. So I think it's really important to just understand where we're going and then try to figure out, how do I turn this into something positive, do my light work, help save the kids and everything else on this astral plane. But that's where I always bring in protection. I ask if it's really something really bothering me, I ask for protection, love, and light around it, which that goes to Lucia, because Lucia mentioned saying something. I woke up last night feeling I have a spiritual attack. It was pulling me, trying to take me. I was someplace I can't remember, and had to affirm to it that I am light, I am love. Then I felt this warm energy and safe. It's been a long time since I experienced something like that during the sleep. And I know we've all had those kinds of things. So I think it is important to address why we should protect ourselves before we go to sleep. So these dream states, we can actually do the work we deserve to be doing and not being attacked.
I have Jessie here said that she had a dream about astral tunnels and mind control over humanity. And I mean, if you just look at the levels of censorship that we've got going on right now, it's just like the mind control is on full throttle, like full throttle. And so it's that doesn't surprise me that you're having those dreams, Jessie. And Mike also wants to know, like, what's the meaning of our dreams? Like, could we maybe go through how to break down some of the different possibilities of what your dreams can mean? Because there's so many possibilities, and understanding how to tap into more confirmations of what that actually is.
Yeah, Cass had a similar question as well about that, about what dreams mean. For me, I Jamie's really good when it comes to dreams. Like when I have a dream, like, babe, what does this mean? She's like all about it. Like, I'll figure it out. Because she uses Google, and Google has, so many different symbols that your dreams mean. So it's kind of like, it's really about tying multiple symbols together. If you have one symbol, like say you have an owl, that means something. But if you have an owl with water, that means something different. So it's really about gathering as much detail as you can, putting it together. And then, if you don't have a book on dreams, use Google search. But if any of you guys know anything about dreams, I mean, that's not knowing the actual nuances of what each thing means. We use Google for that.
Yeah.
I see.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
think
like,
I go ahead, Nicole.
I was just going to say that, with the dreams, whenever I've been interpreting dreams for clients and things like that, that it's, there's so much to take in. Like you want to be aware of, there's so many different possibilities, because you could be working in alternate timelines. You could be working in the future. You could be working in the past. You could be, talked about this in my dreams download video, that you literally could be someone's guide, or they're your guide, and they're working with you through the dream state to guide you, to show you something you may not be seeing in your current moment of like this reality right now. So there's a way of, your dreams can be clues to things that you may be asking questions of, that you're not getting the answers of perhaps in the conscious waking state, that you need to go into the dream state, because your mind isn't in the way now, of, in the sense like your ego is trying to think it through. So you're really receptive, and information can come in a lot easier. That's why a lot of people receive their downloads in their dream state. And so understanding that also, like we talked about earlier, we're a collective. Especially as you start to open up more and more, you are tapped into that collective conscious field so much more, that you could be experiencing what other people are, and it's just playing out in your dreams. It may have nothing to do with you in the sense of like what you're going through, but you could be like just tapping into other experiences, just because you're so connected. So you've got to really allow yourself the void space of any possibilities of what your dreams could be, and start to narrow it down on what resonates with you. Of course, if someone loved who's passed on has come to you, they're likely at least trying to let you know that there's no such thing as death, and that they're with you always, and you can connect with any energy. And also there may be, like we've talked about, forgiveness. There may be some sort of level of forgiveness needed, or closure needed in a situation that either they need closure, you need closure, that sort of thing. They could be tethering to earth, needing to kind of maybe work something out through the dream state. There are a lot of different possibilities of what your dreams could be.
Yeah.
I would say another idea that to start to interpret, because like right here, unless we know your guys' dreams, we can't like always help directly. So it's always good to give like general rules. But start a dream journal. Start a dream journal. If you haven't already, start a dream journal and keep it by your bed, because sometimes they were like, oh, well, that's great, but I forgot my dream. And sometimes if you just keep it by your bed, at least you can write it down real quick or voice text it into your memos on your phone because you have your phone by your bed. But start a dream journal, because there's going to be messages. Google's great, like you said, Google it and meaning of this, meaning of that. But as you go through it, when you go to read it, you'll notice that as you read your dream later, certain things are going to stand out, like you said, an owl in water or whatever. And so maybe your dream might have had certain things, but when you read it, certain things are going to really stick out. So investigate which each one of those meanings are, and you'll start to piece your meanings together. Or there are also warnings for things coming. So you'll know that. But that dream, sometimes right now, a year from now, it's also going to be a lesson or something important. So if you have that dream journal to go back to, it's going to be there. And so that's a nice thing. Start a dream journal if you can. But the dream journal will also help you understand your soul language and your angel language that all your spirit guides are trying to speak with you with. So when you're more in the conscious world and at your 90 degrees standing vertical, you're not like having to go into the sleep world to start to hear these things and feel these things. As you get more connected with consciousness because of the dream world and you've learned from it, you start to tap in. Oh, that bird, I saw it a lot in my dreams. Now I see it here. And you start to receive your messages and feel your messages more often. So I would say start the dream journal and learn your soul language.
I love that idea with the phone though, because like when you wake up and you gotta like find the pen, then when you start writing down, it's kind of like when you get to your third sentence, you're like, oh, what was that other thing? With the phone, you can just pick it up and be like,
I voice
you
text.
have to sleep still, and it's like blah 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 blah. Like you just let it go. That's a great idea. I like that a lot.
I voice texted into my phone.
Yeah.
Y'all
Even
mentioned.
sorry. Sorry, go ahead.
Y'all mentioned protection a moment ago, and what I just got up to look for was I have a sphere about this big of shungite. Shungite is a really good stone for protection. It's about 2 billion-year-old compressed carbon, and it's supposed to be good for protection from energy attacks and different things like that. So whoever is experiencing negative visions or psychic attack, I guess you can call it, get some shungite.
Yeah.
Shungite. Shun. Shog. Shun. Gite. Gite. I'll write it in the chat.
I got a question here from Lisa. I think we talked a little bit about this, but she just said, how do we shake off extremely disturbing dreams once we wake? She had a horrible dream last night, and she tried to shake it off, but the memories keep flashing in and looking like certain things. She's trying to look certain things up online, but she's still very, very upset by it all.
Well, what was the dream?
I don't know. Did you want to share, Lisa, your dream with us? Maybe just kind of put it in the chat there, whatever you're willing to share with us. But gridding your bed, under your bed with stones like crystals or any kind of thing like that is really good for protection if you feel that you need that. But also, I think it's really important to work in with the subconscious of knowing how powerful you are, and that if you believe you're sovereign, nothing's going to penetrate that energy field of yours.
Yeah.
So, and that's your most powerful mode of protection, is just believing you're sovereign and knowing you're sovereign. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Well, okay, and it's really important when we talk about entity attachments is, which someone's actually asking about this here too as well, that entities can only attach to you when you're in the victim mentality, victim energy field, victim state of being. And so, of course, that's wounded feminine energy. So the best way for you to release entity attachments is to move yourself out of the victim state of being, and also the victim belief states. Like, look into all those subconscious programmings that you're running that tell you you're a victim. Go back to all the points in your life or experiences that you've had that tell you you're a victim. How do you override that? How do you get out of that state? As soon as you get out of that state and you move into courage, a level of consciousness that is now constructive, entities cannot feed or attach onto that energy field. They only attach into lower destructive states of consciousness. So as long as you get into courage, and then anything above that, which is like allowance, acceptance, reason, love, joy, peace, if you can get into those states of being and rewrite over some of those subconscious programming, entities cannot touch you. Like, it's just impossible.
A
Yeah, it's so
prerequisite.
important too. Yeah, buddy.
That's
Yeah,
no,
it's
that's
all
you, brother.
No, you would have guessed. Do whatever, brother.
A prerequisite to get into those more, I guess you'd say, higher states of emotional, higher emotional states is willingness. For the most part, when you're in the victim mindset, even though you might feel like you want to get better, you're not willing to take that step to get better. And so acknowledging that I'm not where I want to be right now, so I need to accept where I am so I can be where I want to be. So you have to change. You have to be willing to change inside. Be the change in the world you want to see. Be the change. The Gandhi quote.
Yeah. So a good thing too is before you go to sleep is to do some kind of protection purification. And this is very interesting. I just came across this recently, and Jamie and I were talking about this. Has anybody read the Green Books, the Senate Master Teaching by with Saint Germain, the I Am Discourses? This came out in the 1930s, and there was something in there called the violet transmuting flame, right? So you would use the violet transmuting flame to come into your body to burn off any ailments or anything that needs to be transmuted, right? It's called the violet transmuting flame to burn it off. And if you look at the violet flame or ultraviolet light, where is that? It's the crown chakra. The crown chakra is royal purple. It's ultraviolet. And how interesting is it today that our sciences are finally catching up using ultraviolet light to purify water, because now they have pools that have ultraviolet filters that the water passes through instead of using chlorine or instead of using salt. And it's more efficient, and it cleans 99.9% of bacteria and germs. And now they're using ultraviolet light underneath the skin to cleanse the blood from viruses. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. And yet in the 1930s, what they're talking about is using your consciousness to consciously bring in the crown chakra, the ultraviolet light, to bring it in to purify your body. Just like Jeremy was saying, if you're in a hotel, if you're anywhere, your crown chakra is always there. So if you visualize looking up and looking into your crown chakra and pulling down that ultraviolet light, that ultraviolet frequency, it's a frequency, to move throughout your body to cleanse and transmute all negativity from your mind and body. This way, you're completely protecting yourself as you're going to sleep to move into the astral realms. Because anytime you do astral projection, you have to do protection work. Anytime you do it before you even start, because when you get into the astral realm, consciously, a lot of things can pop up, just like in our dream state.
It's like the ghetto.
Yeah, it can be. It really can be. But there could be different beings that don't look like us there. So it's like, well, what is that? And it could be a little jolting. But if you have that protection, nothing, like you were saying before, nothing can attach to you because you have that layer of protection.
Yeah. Okay.
So
sorry,
this is
I don't
something that I work with. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted Lisa actually put her dream in here, and I can see why she's quite disturbed by it. Do you guys mind if I read it, and maybe Jessica or like any of you guys will want to answer? But she said basically the end message of her dream was that most of her family was telling her that they never loved her anyway. And it ended in a suicide of two of them driving off a bridge into water. One was a family member and one was the last love of her life.
So I'm gonna go at it. Some of the things I'm getting in is this is completion of soul contracts. This was the take it as the message that I'm just receiving real quick. You'll decipher these for yourself and you'll understand why later. But I was receiving that these are your soul contracts that were ending, and it was the ending of the negativity, the ending of the insecurities, the ending of the guilt, the way they've treated you, the insecurities that have gone back, the insecurities of the way you've had to feel because of the way your family has looked at you or things that have happened, and vice versa. But those suicides and those deaths were more so so that you know that soul contract is completed and those kinds of things are done with and over, so that now you can live those lives in a new way, in a new format, and start new relationships with them. I know it sounds crazy, but release the fears, because remember, death is also symbolization of new birth. Like a lot of times when people see the death tarot card or something, they always think of like, oh my God, that's scary. It means someone's going to die. This is more of a new energetic rebirth, and you can rebirth into new relationships as well. Garen, you're feeling that, huh? You can rebirth into new relationships. But the suicide, what we want you to do and release the energy on the suicide of them driving off, is give forgiveness around it. Because when there's suicides, a lot of times the people that are left behind in real life feel guilt or hurt or kind of like, how did I not see things? How did I not help them? Or we feel like angry with them. This is your opportunity to release all of those emotions as well, so you can get past that. And then there's just pure unconditional love and forgiveness, so that you can work through, especially with these two people that popped up. If that kind of makes any sense at all, it's your dream, but these are the messages I'm receiving in to like pass on to you to assist in resonating. So if it resonates with you, take it in and digest it. If it doesn't, you'll figure out why it doesn't as well. But that's what kind of came in on that one. Thanks for sharing that as well, though, Lisa.
Yeah, thanks, Lisa. And thanks, Jess.
Yeah, I know it
Jason's
kind of sounds weird because it's like, wait, what?
Jason, I can tell Jason's got an interpretation. After whoever's done next interpreting it, I want to say something about it. Y'all go.
No, go ahead. Do your thing. You got something?
So
Go, G.
She said she said we never loved you anyway. What that tells me, in some way, the way that your conscious mind relates the dynamic of the dynamic that you and those family members have, whether it's the dynamic of how you love each other, the dynamic of how you relate to each other, of how you communicate, whatever it is, in some way, the way that you see how they treat you and how you treat them is conflicting from how it actually is. And in some way, I don't know. I don't even know who the person in real life who wrote the dream, but what it tells me is that in some way, it's not that it's a victim mentality, but it's a way that it's showing that a belief about that person is something that restricts and puts them into a box. And so it's almost like a breaking down of the foundation of what was to best allow the rebirth of what is coming. Just like you said, Jessica, it's like a death thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jace.
No, I'm good on these.
Lisa wrote that makes so much sense.
Okay.
Jessica, she was completely confused because she was feeling confused as opposed to sad and tragic. So she says, thank you very much. No.
I gotta say.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for sharing, because I wouldn't even be able to share that if you hadn't opened up the energetic door. But this is an example, though. Thank you for Lisa for sharing, because this is an example how we're all opening up to consciousness together. And when you have this dream because of things that are going on in your life, we all start tapping into these energies. So sometimes all of us start having dreams as such, and we didn't even know why, but it's because somebody on this planet somewhere is experiencing something. So whenever you guys kind of feel something like this as well, remember there's another side, and this is one more message that goes along with everything I shared with you, Lisa. There's always another side to their feelings and their actions of what they've taken in their physical life, and we don't know that, or we don't see it, and we don't see how they're trapped behind their oppression, their emotions, and everything else. So that goes back to the death of the relationships of his past for the rebirth. So everybody keep that in mind as well, because when you're having these dreams about people that may have hurt you, or just, it goes back to what Garen was saying, where he almost went into another life of somebody in this dream of the third right, and he was actually seeing how guilty they felt and how bad they felt, and they were kind of forced to do what they were doing, but it's not because they wanted to. We just need to remember that sometimes when we see these things and we don't understand it, just send love and light, send your guardian angels, send everything that's divine around. Ask for protection around you, first of all, because you have to protect yourself, like we were saying. And like I was trying to say earlier, I work with violet light and ultraviolet light, and it's something I've done since birth, and it used to freak the hell out of people that I was with, because they would start seeing it around me, and then you got to kind of bring that in, harness that in a little bit in life. But you really can call that in, like Jason saying, call down violet light. It's even for people like, well, wait, Saint Germain, and that's not Christian, or that's not this. It's even in the it's even in the Bible. Violet light is in the Bible. It's all there. So all these different tools around us, whether it be crystals, but just like Jeremy was saying, when we are at a hotel, you don't have all these things with you all the time, right? But remember your power of intent. When you allow yourself to connect with spirit, you allow yourself to connect with the universe, everything that's holy and divine, you have that power of intent. So with your eyes, with your divine, allowing that to enter you, you can ask mirrors be cleared and cleansed, the hotel room be cleared and cleansed, and be protected, whatever you are. So wherever you are in the moment, call in that light, call in that protection, and allow that power to be there within first. And whenever you're feeling this for someone else, send that same out to somebody else. And it is so powerful. And you with your dreams, Lisa, or anyone else, that what you're having, send that all on out, and it'll start to work for each one of them for the transformations and transmutations in their own life.
You're it.
Yeah. So I had a dream this morning. It was kind of nightmare-ish. Like I knew that like somebody was like kind of attaching themselves to me. Like this whole scenario was happening. And then I woke up, I turned over, and I kind of went right back into that dream. But when I went back into the dream, I'm like, wait a second. I felt like there was a connection to something that's happened earlier. And then I kind of went back through. And then I realized that I was dreaming in a sense, and I was scared. Like I had that feeling of like something's going on that I don't like. But I was like, I want to see what's happening here. Like I didn't feel like it was a death situation going on, like someone who's going to like chase me to kill me. I felt like something was like chasing me to haunt me in a sense, and I really wanted to understand what that was, why. So I was very observant in the dream, kind of figuring out, like trying to put together the puzzle, what was happening, because I knew it wasn't harmful in a sense of something trying to chase me to get me, but something was happening that needed my conscious understanding to what was going on. So try to become observant in your dreams, especially when you wake up and you're like, oh my God, like that was crazy, and then you kind of go to sleep, and sometimes you fall right back into that whole dream thing.
I'm really glad that you brought that up, because I actually had a question of that exact same thing that's happening to other people, where they feel a strong pull or push by a strong energy while they're dreaming. It feels spooky and ghosty kind of experience, and wanted to share your thoughts on that. So that like other people are experiencing exactly what you experienced.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I mean, I felt nervous afterwards, and then I kind of thought about what was going on, and it kind of ties into what's going on in our physical reality and on the collective. And I think we all truly are all one on a higher reality, and I think we all are connected, just like quantum physics talks about when we look at entanglement. Right? Once a particle is a particle and it separates from another particle, it's one particle. No matter what the distance in between, they're always connected. And I think we all came from I am, the source, and we're all connected at a certain level. So I think this whole collective expression that's happening on our physical plane, I think we're all having dreams connecting the dots on what's happening in our physical world.
Can I ask Jason a question? Did you have a ghost from your past pop up today? By ghost, I mean like something that was very long. Because the way that I interpreted that dream is, in some way, it's something from your past coming up that you thought wasn't going to come up, or something like that. Maybe.
Yeah, it was more elitish. it could have been a ghost in the past, but it was elitish, kind of using certain things to take control of my personal reality. That was being.
Oh, okay, that's making sense to me, because what I'm receiving is that that anyone who's feeling like these pulls of energies or entities or ghost-like kind of energies in their dreams, it's literally kind of like the darker energies that are trying to control and manipulate everything that we're going through right now, trying to manipulate you in the dream state. And it's because they're not so much able to manipulate you in your conscious waking because you're so observant, but thinking that they may be able to get you through the subconscious astral plane. And we were just talking before, like the astral plane being the ghetto, like you really do like come across kind of more thug-like energies, that you wouldn't normally come across in your conscious waking state. So I think that if you're experiencing that, I think it's just the darker energies trying to manipulate us like light workers through, and anyone through the dream state,
Right.
because it may not be working on the conscious level.
Yeah.
That's just more of an example of, go ahead. I was just going to go into that one. Are you getting into Cass's, or which one are you going into? Because I was going to bring in Doug's real quick and then Cass's.
Michelle Zena. I know that person.
She sounds familiar.
Why? Just because I live there all the time? Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think that you keep going into the loop dream. So read that first part about the loop again, because I was zoning in on the second part before you ever got to the second part. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's the thing is that like you're going into your nirvana, like you're putting up actually, like you're actually allowing yourself to completely get into higher consciousness, and you're feeling like the loop like where you're going in and out, where you can come in and out, because you're actually really starting to connect with your higher self at that higher plane and that higher vibration, Michelle, like all the work you've been doing on yourself and with yourself, and you're actually bringing that more into your conscious world right now. And so what I'm receiving as well is that you can actually start doing this while you're awake versus going into your meditative sleep. So that's what they're trying to tell you, is you can loop in there more often. But that whole consciousness of where you're feeling the restfulness, remember, and you're feeling like loss of time and everything else, that is real, because you're now starting to accept that. Remember, we're saying like there is really nothing time. We created time, or idea of time. All these parallels are all coming down. They're all falling all the time, different times. It's all falling into one thing. And that's where you're starting to meet yourself in there and be what we would consider heaven, right? In heaven, there is no time, right? When we talk about heaven, there's no time. When we talk about like God, we say there one minute to us could be millions of years to him, or millions of years to us could have been a second in his eyes. And that's exactly the space you're in. When you're going into that meditative space, that's exactly the place you're in. So when you're there next time, actually go connect more with your higher self, see yourself, let your light body really connect with you. And the next time you're going to be doing this, you're going to be, just when you say like, as I come out of this, I choose to bring that back down into like my conscious state, into earth, into planet. And your angels and your guardians are going to be around you, and you are going to be able to be doing this and a more conscious, connected state. That's the message for you in this one, though. I know that that sounds like for everyone else, but remember, when we get to those states like that, we are not in a dream world. We're actually in that other reality that's our astral reality. And we're really feeling it with our conscious body, because you're doing it during meditation while you're really awake still.
I have to jump out in about 5 or 10 minutes max. And I know you guys have a couple more questions. I have one specifically that I'd like to ask here, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah.
It's actually very interesting. I never heard of it before. Debbie Briggs, as a child, she astral projected every night. Snapback was the worst thing. As she got older, she could hear the metal twisting sound on separation. Could anyone explain this to her? Garen?
Garen and I can go for it, Garen.
The magnetic pull of the body. So the body's literally, because of electromagnetics, you're literally attracted to your body. And since we have a lot of different chemicals we're made of, it's most likely just the similar to when you're born. It's the separation from source. It's like the I guess you'd say the echo of the cutting off of that, but not literal cut off. It's just you're coming back into full physical. That's why it feels like metal, just like maybe.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and a way to overcome that too is to do it consciously, to really work with that. So if you have that ability to astral project and go that far, because obviously you're not just coming out of your body and playing around the room, you're going into some distant realms. So consciously do that every single day and really work at that, because you'll be able to bring yourself back easier than just doing it sporadically here and there. Because that's once you have that pull, it gets really fast, and if you're not used to that, that's what it feels like. But really work with it every day, and you'll be able to just easily guide yourself right back where you have to be.
And one more thing I would say to that real quick as well. Start to choose to accept that this is something you do. And I'm not saying you don't accept it. I'm saying once we can start to choose to do it and we accept it, then we can start to ask for the light and protection to be around us before it even happens. Okay. So this is where it's really important. Nicole knows, protection queen, protect, 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 not protect with fear, protect with love and light. And as you protect yourself prior to going and having your astral experiences, you're protected when you leave. And this is very important. Your body physically right here deserves to be protected while you're out doing your other work. If you don't have yourself protected here, then things can still happen to you here. This is where you hear people, I woke up with bruises and I don't know why. You hear, and they have physical pictures to show this. There's been people that sleep with video cameras and they show that they wake up with bruises, but nothing happened to them, right? So this is where things can happen. So you want to protect yourself in your form that you find that works for you, that resonates with you, calling in that love, light, protection, and ask that anything you do, wherever you travel to, that you might be protected. So try putting that into place. Once you do that, your soul, as you astral travel and everything that you do to go be that warrior and everything, all the light work you're doing out in the other travel, in the other planes, you can go do that work without it affecting you here. And then you can come back in safely as well without carrying that back with you as well. Because sometimes what we're doing is you're also hearing your armor that you were using in the other planes. You're also hearing that as that is coming off into your physical body because you're not necessarily needing it here. So I agree with everything Garen said too on that magnetic, everything else, but just remember love and light and protection around you always so that you'll be protected on travel. It's important.
Yeah. So real quick, Cass asks, is there any suggestions on how to learn to become more aware during your dreams? Yes, there's a couple things you can do. One of the easiest things to do is to work in the morning time, because in the morning time you're in this state called the hypnagogic state, where you're in between realms, right? You're kind of like there, you're not here. So the best thing to do in the morning time is set your alarm clock for 10 minutes apart, and don't do this on the day that you're working because it could make you groggy throughout the day. So on a day that you're off, set your alarm clock for 10 minutes apart for about an hour. And what happens is you'll start coming up and then going really deep, coming up and then you go even really deeper. But as you're going deeper, your consciousness is still alert. So your consciousness, your mind starts kicking into phase, but you're actually going deeper into delta every time. So you're able to have kind of an astral projected experience within that 10 minutes. And it feels like you can be having an hour experience and it's only within a 5-minute span of time. So Every 10 minutes, set your alarm and just hit snooze for every 10 minutes for an hour. And you'll find yourself drifting into the different realms of consciousness, but you'll be able to remain conscious while you're dreaming. And another thing you can do is look in the mirror. Anytime you're having a dream, you'll never see yourself in the mirror, or look at your watch. You can never tell the time. So if you start conditioning yourself to look into the mirror when you're dreaming, or looking at your watch on your hand, you'll notice you can't tell time. So you'll recognize that after repeating it, like, oh, wait a second, I'm dreaming right now. Or look at yourself in the mirror and say, oh, I'm dreaming right now. And that helps.
Say, I demand clarity.
Yeah.
And also, it's really good, but as you're falling asleep, to remind yourself just before you're starting to really go into the, like, really drift off, that just keep saying, I want to remember everything. I wish to remember everything. Like, just keep declaring that, like, I wish to remember please help me remember all my dreams. And that'll kind of, putting that intention out is very helpful as well.
I think putting your attention on everything you do, like commanding your energy, instructing the energy to work for you. We have that power. And that's what we're getting to now. It's all about commanding and instructing your desires, your dreams, your aspirations, your goals, really taking control. So.
And that just goes along to Cass's last part before we close out here, is saying, I'm currently the observer, but I'd like to be more involved consciously. And I like to say, even sometimes I don't dream, but I know I'm doing work. I don't know I'm dreaming, right? Like, I don't realize I'm dreaming, but we're out there doing stuff. You're wanting to be more involved consciously. Sometimes what I like to say is, it really doesn't matter if I'm consciously involved or not. I just I say, okay, keep me protected, love, light, keep me protected with whatever I'm doing, but let me go be involved and do what I'm supposed to do. What I'm supposed to know, remember, anything else, that's for the highest good and highest purpose of me in this 3D world, in my conscious mind, for my lessons that I need to put into play. But the rest of it, whether I remember it or not, I'm not saying it doesn't matter to me, but I'm saying, like, for me, Jessica, in this world, if I know it and if I remember it, then I do. But if I'm not supposed to know and remember, but I'm just doing my work, I know I'm doing my work. So just trust that you're doing your work, trust that you're getting involved, and you will be involved.
Yeah.
There's an interesting chemical, neurotransmitter called glutamate, that they say it's the thing responsible for that elongated time feeling. And when it's being flooded into your brain, it makes it so you, like you said, the 1 second could be 1,000 years, or vice versa. And so you anytime you go into that dream state, you're literally being flooded with chemicals that are completely different than your normal state. And so it's a higher octave. It's the master's octave. And there's another one instead of glutamate. It's called melatonin. It's a distortion of melatonin. It's the chemical responsible for sleep paralysis. And so if you learn how to regulate your breath and your mental faculties, you can put yourself into sleep paralysis, or hypnagogia, the hypnagogic state, consciously. And that's why people can consciously astral project, lucid dream, all the above.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful world, people. It's a beautiful world, and every day we all learn and experience more. But it is the dream world is a beautiful world to be in. So don't be afraid of it. Instead, going, like Doug said, a thing. I believe that there's power in dream good energy, and you have to turn bad energy into something good and learn from it all. And that's exactly what we're doing by discussing dreams right now. That's exactly what we're doing by having this conversation. So I say, go out in a protected way, enjoy the dream world, enjoy what you learn, and bring back what you're supposed to be learning here for what you're doing here on Earth. And thanks to each and every one of you for doing the light work you're doing through your dreams and through your astral self as well.
Yeah, thank you all. Thank you all. So again, we're here for you guys. We're here for you guys every Tuesday night. Please join us every Tuesday. And also, if you guys need help with anything else, we are professionals when it comes to astral projection, going back into this life in a regression, or your past life in regressions, healing. We're all very skilled at that. So you have Jeremy McDonald at jeremymcdonald.net. Nicole is inflexibleme.com. And Jessica is enlightencircles.com. You can find all of those on the Masters Octave Facebook, and you can find all of us on Facebook, and you can find all of us on the mastersoctave.org. And Garen, what was
That's
your,
Garen.
I couldn't find the name
My
of.
my YouTube is Garen Zena, similar to how exactly how it's spelled on the call. Just Garen Zena on YouTube. I also have a website, a domain with my name on it, Garen Zena. I want to shout out my mom really quickly. She has a blog called Collective Consciousness. It's just the exact spelling.com, I think. And she's gonna have a lot more content on that soon. And she's been really.
Go, Michelle.
Yeah.
She's had it for a
Michelle.
lot long. She's had it for 10 years
Okay,
plus.
now that and people, she just told you if she's more in this place where she can pop in and out of that place through meditation, she's gonna have a great blog coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. We could have used her right in that spot right there. We could have used her here tonight. And Kimberly, thanks for looking into the Soul Team. Thanks for getting back to it. Yeah,
And thanks everyone for all of your love on my video yesterday, The Hero Awakens. I just appreciate you so much for sharing that, and the love. I just really appreciate it.
yeah, for those who have not listened to it yet, go to Nicole Frolic on Facebook and check it out. I think it's on the Masters Octave. I shared it there as well. It's an amazing meditation. It's really, really, really well done, well put together.
I listened to a good part of it. My mom was playing it mid-work. We've been working from home here, work on the phone, and I heard her playing it. I was like, that sounds nice. I want to listen to what she's listening to.
Yeah,
It's
really
fabulous.
well done.
And it's
Well done.
inspiring. So everybody, a beautiful night, and we will see you next Tuesday. Thank you for your comments, questions, and sharing your energy.
Much love, everyone.
everybody.
Thank you. Thank
Thank you for having me, folks.
Thanks, Garen. Thanks, guys.